this down. Boom. Now go ahead and tell them your name, my friend.
Sean Titchener.
And walk them through what you believe is the most important part of your story.
Most important part of my story, I guess, would be, kind of put me on the spot a little bit. Let me think about it. I guess it would be perseverance / resilience. I've seen too many people let their injury define them, and I swore to myself, I made a promise to myself not to do that, and I still hold that promise to myself to this day. So perseverance, resilience, and your injury doesn't define you. Right.
Now, if you were going to define and tell the story of kind of what happened and then how it impacted you and what part of the story you want, kind of like if you were to leave a legacy with that story. And mind you, I'll ask some of this stuff, but just contextually think through, hey, my injury doesn't define me. The injury didn't stop me. This is what I would want people to take away from this. What happened? How'd you get there? And you ain't got to rush. I'm just like, hey, pace yourself. The camera's on.
Yeah.
I just want you to think through and have fun.
So initially what happened was April of 2011. We were on our way back from an overnight patrol. We were sitting in the same spot overnight, overwatching a route that had suspected IED materials being transported on it. So that whole night went by, so we're walking back to our outpost the next morning, about 7 in the morning, the sun was coming up, and I was the lead team leader. And we were walking back, and we were skirting a village using the buildings as cover. When we were coming up on the edge of the village, I sent my machine gunner up to the corner to pull security so we didn't get surprised when we came around that corner. And as we started moving up, I stepped on a pressure plate IED. Luckily, we were all spread out, so I was the only one that was hurt. So what I was told was it sent me about 6 feet up, and then 10 feet to the left. So I opened my eyes, and I didn't think I was the one that got hit. I was trying to figure out who else got hit. And then the pain kicked in, and I realized I was the one that got hit. You want to know the scope of the injury initially, or?
Yeah, tell them.
Yeah, so once I got medevaced out, the scope of the injuries, I had a big hole in the inside of the arc of my foot. My ankle was dislocated, and my heel bone was pretty much vaporized. And so from there, I guess, long story short, they spent about 2 months trying to salvage my limb, and a lot of surgeries, a lot of I was in traction, external fixator, so on and so forth. The day they went in to repair my foot, they realized I couldn't. By that time, I'd done some research. So after they said they couldn't fix it, I told them to go ahead and amputate. So it was an elective amputation. So they amputated probably a couple weeks later, and then that's when I just started my rehab at Walter Reed. And my goal from the time I got injured is I wanted to stay in the Army, no matter what the injury was. And I had found some guys who were amputees who got to stay in the Army. I talked to them, and they told me what to do, coached me. So I just went as hard as I could in physical rehab. From the time of injury, I was running 4 months later. From the time of injury, so probably 2 months after amputation, I was running. I just went hard.
What would you say is kind of like your driving force and motivation to endure so much pain mentally, physically, emotionally, and still keep going?
Well, honestly, my motivation was I wanted to stay in the Army, because if I didn't stay in the Army, I didn't know what I was going to do. Army is what I knew. So that was my only choice. It was like I needed to get as good as I can to stay in the Army. So that's what I did, and ended up had to go through a lot of red tape and fight a lot of battles, and eventually got found fit for duty to stay in the Army. And then at that point, I was at Walter Reed, and a guy came through. He was a recruiter for the United States Army Marksmanship Unit. Said he was trying to spin up a Paralympic shooting team. And his goal, the Army's goal, or whoever, their goal was to send a team of Army injured soldiers to the Paralympics. So I volunteered for it and got accepted. So once I got found fit for duty, I got orders for the Army Marksmanship Unit and at Fort Benning. I started training there as a pistol shooter, and then eventually started going to competitions, and then I went to the Paralympics in 2016 for the U.S. Army. I was active duty Army and at the Paralympics as an athlete, so that was pretty awesome. What else would you like to know?
How did you get into hunting and link up with TexVet? What do you think of what TexVet does?
So how I got into hunting, I think for the longest time I've always wanted to hunt. I just never had the opportunity because I always lived in a city or never had time, or if an opportunity came up I couldn't because I had small children, I had other things going on. When I finally got to hunt, I was sold. My first hunt was a bow archery hunt, and I got my first deer, and I was sold at that point. And I just love being in nature. I love being in the woods. As far as TexVet, I think what these guys do is great, because I think every soldier, well, I think not just soldiers, I think just about everybody can benefit being in nature. It's not always about the kill, even though that's a bonus. Just being out in nature and kind of letting go of your day-to-day life for a little while and letting yourself breathe and listen and absorb. I think that's the greatest therapy there is out there, to be honest. I think if everyone got in the outdoors a little more, like, when we were kids, we weren't allowed to come in until the street lights came on, We turned out pretty good. And I think that's where a lot of people are missing it these days, especially the younger generation. They need to get out in nature, whether it's hunting or just hiking, fishing, riding your bike, something. I think just getting out in nature, I think, is great.
And what do you think, or what would you say is your highest achievements thus far?
My highest achievement, like just in general?
Yeah.
Highest achievement, I think, the pinnacle for shooting was making it to the Paralympics in Rio in 2016. It sounds weird, but another achievement of mine that I kind of strive for when I first started physical therapy is when I wear jeans or pants, is I didn't want people to be able to notice I was an amputee, because a lot of us have a little hitch in our step, a little limp, and I worked real hard to where if I wear long pants, no one could tell I was an amputee because I walk so good, and I achieved that. I've had a lot of people didn't know I was an amputee until they saw me with shorts on. So that was one of my goals, and I achieved it, and that's just important to me.
And so what does it actually mean to be an amputee for those that maybe didn't go through what you've gone through, but naturally still struggle mentally with the anxiety, stress, and pressure of at times maybe feeling less than? So what does it actually mean to be an amputee? Because I don't know.
I guess the best way to describe it is it's a new normal. I was freaking out a little bit, but I've been an amputee since 2011, and now I don't even think about it. I do get more leg room on a plane, so that's a bonus. Any cramped areas, I can just take my leg off, and it's actually a little more convenient than being a two-legged fella. So, it's just a new normal. It's just like anything else that's different or a change that you deal with. You get used to it. you know, and everyone's different. Everyone takes their own amount of time to deal with it and come to grips with it. For me, it didn't take long because I had my goals set and I knew what I wanted to achieve, and I knew I wasn't going to let my amputation stop me. I didn't let it, like I said earlier, I don't let it define me. Yeah.
And last but not least, man, if you could sum up in not a small sentence or a few words, but help people understand what does it mean to be a veteran? How would you describe a combat veteran? Because I don't think that most people understand the value of what you've done, what you do, what you've been through, and even your commitment to keeping people like myself safe and others. But like, you know, I told Andrew, I said, man, Andrew, I feel like veteran's a word that's miscommunicated, undercommunicated, misunderstood, not understood, undervalued.
Yeah, I mean, to be a veteran, I think where a lot of people don't understand the word veteran is what we had to go through to get that term assigned to us. Even if you're not even a combat vet, if you're just a veteran who served, never in combat, you still got the basic training, you still got your job training, you still got your day-to-day. It's hard. I mean, I don't think even people know how hard basic training is. And the fact that we're serving something that we think is bigger than ourselves, like you said, to protect, you know, they say God, country, family, or God, family, country, whatever order you like, you know, or whatever religion you are. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I knew I was going to join the Army or the military in general when I was 5 years old as a family legacy. My grandpa, my great-grandpa, my mom, my grandma, my dad all served. So I knew I was joining when I was 5 years old. So I joined out of high school. But you know, I joined for family legacy. Some people joined for the college money. Some joined because they hit hard times and they want that regular paycheck. And none of those reasons are wrong. You know, I don't sell anyone short. Whatever their reasons are, the fact that they raised their right hand to serve their country and serve something bigger than them, they got my respect no matter what their reason for joining is, you know?
Well, last but not least, man, go ahead and say your name again, then I need you to say at the end, my name is such and such, and I'm a combat veteran.
My name is Sean Titchener, and I'm a combat veteran.
Thank you, my friend.
Guys hunt their whole life and they don't shoot a buck.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those G2s must be 15 inches. Look at this.
Oh shit.
Huh? And it's perfect. There's not like, there's a
He's
little piece
symmetrical.
broken off.
Yeah, he's symmetrical.
But that's nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it
The old
10,
deer.
10 point? Or, wait, one,
So
two,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points.
12 point.
Does this one count? Is it?
Yeah, it's an
if,
inch.
if it's longer than an inch, it counts.
Yeah. So you got a 12-y.
Look at these guys. So like a little drop time.
I love these guys right here. Baby drop.
Yeah, those brat times are stunning.